If you're celebrating a special occasion or just love fine dining, you're in the right place. Come experience the crown jewel of South Point restaurants, Michael's Gourmet Room.
Welcome.
With over 600 different types of wines and magnificent dishes prepared tableside, you'll revel in the rich classic Vegas decor and the best black tie service in the world. This intimate gourmet room has earned accolades galore. Come to Michael's Gourmet Room for an unforgettable dining experience. Another famous restaurant is the Silverado Steakhouse, where you'll find the charm and service that discerning patrons require. From top quality steaks and chops to fresh seafood and desserts, you'll love the award-winning wine list and menu at Silverado Steakhouse. Steak lovers have even more options with primarily prime rib. Catering to hearty appetites, the menu features a variety of flavorful prime rib cuts, dry-aged to ensure tenderness, and then seasoned and slowly roasted. Although prime rib is our specialty, it's not the only thing on the menu. There's something for everyone. South Point is also proud to provide a variety of relaxing amenities for the guests who want to be pampered. Soak up the sun and let your stress melt away in our lagoon-style paradise swimming pool. A relaxing getaway where you can bask in the desert sun and enjoy seasonal food and bar service poolside. And if you really want to escape, come to Spa Costa del Sur. From couple suites to a co-ed wet area, our spa caters to business and leisure travelers who want to unwind and elevate their senses. A visit to one of our spa's steam, sauna, or whirlpool treatment rooms will leave any guest feeling like they can take on the world.
Are you ready to lock in your bets and cash in on the games this weekend? Get weekly football winners from Alex White, Chris Andrews, and Vinny Malulo.
I did take the dog 3.5.
I'm going to stay with the Colts. That's definitely going to be one of my plays.
If the Bears have turned the corner, they have to take care of business in this game.
Yes.
Tune in for behind-the-book perspectives you won't find anywhere else.
Well, if you're looking to bet the under, you're going to get a better number.
The wise guys are certainly not going to play the favorites.
I know if it hits 7, don't blink. Maybe that's what bettors are waiting for.
Every NFL matchup, every college game that matters, the spreads, the stats, and the smart money plays.
Is there a way to bet against both teams?
Get your winning edge with Football Frenzy, streaming on YouTube every Friday at noon Pacific.
Happy New Year's to everyone out there from fabulous Las Vegas. We are live from the South Point Hotel and Casino, the locals' favorite spot just south on Las Vegas Boulevard. I'm Alex White alongside Ryan McCormick. This is Sports by the Book, 5 days a week. You can find us here on the YouTube channel. Thank you to everybody that did subscribe in the last month or so. We did hit our goal for the 2025 year. So hoping to start off a good 2026 here with some winners. And we've got a game going right now. Kick was no good for Texas Tech, trying to tie it up. It has been a battle in the trenches. Oregon up 3-0 on the Red Raiders. We've got a lot to get to today. Thank you for tuning in. And as always, as we do on Sports by the Book, we will give out our best bets at the end of the show. For all the games coming up today, we have two more big games in the quarterfinals for college football and a ton of hockey and some college basketball to sprinkle in as well. All right, let's bring in Mr. Ryan McCormick. He had a much better day than I did yesterday, but we're going to have a bounce back today. But Ryan gave out that 9.5 yesterday, and then we saw money come in on Miami, dropped all the way to 7.5, and ultimately they won outright. So Ryan, good job on that pick, and nice 2-2-1 day, right?
Yeah, I mean, the Miami pick saved the board. Luckily got the push in the Knights game. We didn't think we'd get there. That one was 4-2 going into the third. Tilla, sorry you had to sweat that one out to get the push there. But yeah, ultimately ended up even on the day. Lightning still get the win against the Ducks, but don't cover the puck line. The Red Wings do get it done against the Jets. And then I went with the two favorites on the money line in hockey in Minnesota and Edmonton. And both teams end up losing outright. So would have paid a lot better had I taken the underdogs there. That's the second time I've tried that. And both times the underdogs have won both games. So I think the next time I try and do that, I will genuinely just take the underdogs and fade the favorites there. But yeah, ultimately,
when you get that feeling, right? You're like, oh, I'm going to tie these two big favorites up. You're like, stay away. But a weird day in hockey. We'll see what we get today from all of them. But we want to continue with the recap for the day yesterday in all sports.
Yeah, so we'll start on the ice. 10 total games in the NHL yesterday. Favorites went 4 and 6 straight up. 6 puck lines were covered, 3 of which were reverse. And totals, 6 of the 10 games went over, 3 went under, and we did have a push here in Las Vegas with the Predators and Knights. So 6, 3, and 1 were the totals there in the NHL. Going to the hardwood, we'll go NBA first. Favorites in 9 games went 6 and 3 straight up, but just 3 and 6 against the spread. Totals were 4 and 5 unders, 4 overs there in the NBA. And then looking at men's college basketball, favorites were 35 and 12 straight up, 25, 21, and 1 against the spread, and totals were 22, 24, and 1, 24 unders, 22 overs, and 1 push there in men's college basketball. And then the 5 bowl games that we had yesterday, one of which was a pretty important playoff game. That was the only playoff game or only bowl game that went under yesterday. Totals went 4 and 1, favorites 3 and 2 straight up, 2 and 3 against the spread. But yeah, totals 4 and 1 there in college football.
Very high scoring games in the other ones. A lot of points. I did have the game under for Miami, Ohio State, but not my best bet. That was Miami's team total under. And of course, that pick 6 kind of changed things, and they got there pretty easily. Overall, what'd you think of that game? And moving forward, what do you think about the Hurricanes?
Miami's going to be playing in the national championship. I really think no matter which SEC team gets through, Ole Miss or Georgia, I do think Miami's defensive line and the way that they controlled the line of scrimmage last night really is going to get them through and to the national championship. I don't think they'll be able to win the national championship because, as I've said before, I don't respect Mario Cristobal as a head coach and being able to win a national championship. But the roster is certainly capable, and I do think they'll be able to get through. And yeah, you mentioned the pick 6, really not necessarily turning the tide, but allowing Miami to play with their hair on fire and just go after Julian Sand, who looked afraid for the majority of the game, did not want to throw the ball down the field. So yeah, Miami's going to have a lot of confidence going forward.
Sportsbook director Chris Andrews, who joins us often on this show, always talks about the battle of the trenches. And you're right, we definitely saw it show up yesterday for Miami. And they mentioned it on the broadcast, and I did actually kind of forget that this team, they were ranked like second, I think, at one point throughout the year. Of course, starting off the season with a big win over Notre Dame and then dropped those 2 conference games. But as you mentioned, I mean, the talent is definitely there with Miami.
Yeah.
I did forget to mention, too, for all of you who are watching live, which we do appreciate more than we expected, so welcome in. We do have Dwayne Colucci checking in just a minute. We're going to check in with him from the Rampart up in Summerlin. So get his thoughts on the next games coming up and the one going on right now in the Orange Bowl, which is a battle, and we expected this to be a good one. Ryan, I'm sweating out 2 bets in this one. What about you? You got anything going?
I did end up taking the under in this game. So looking good right now with the defensive battle that we've got. And I kind of love to see it because these 2 teams are fantastic. And yeah, let's hope the second half stays the same.
That's really funny. I ended up taking the first half under in this one. So I'm with you. Let's keep this going through the end of the game. But of course, I did give out on the board to Texas Tech plus 2.5 yesterday, along with Chris Andrews, who liked the Red Raiders, and he liked them on the money line. So we'll see. All right, let's take a quick break. Let's check in with Dwayne, make sure all levels are good, and let's bring him in and get his take from behind the counter here on Sports by the Book. Welcome back, everybody. Sports by the Book, live from the South Point Hotel and Casino. Welcome in. If you are watching live, we will have a ticker trivia, as we do every show, coming up shortly. But now we bring in our good friend, runs the race and sportsbook up at the Rampart in Summerlin, Dwayne Colucci. You can follow him on Twitter at NYBookie. Dwayne, Happy New Year, first and foremost. And I want to ask about last night's game, because that 9.5 sat there pretty much all week. And then where was the time frame when the money started coming in on Miami, Florida?
Yeah, it just started to come in from all angles, and it came in late, Alex. I think we closed the game at 7.5, and we just got plied with a bunch of Miami money, and the public ended up right. It was a big point spread for a marquee matchup like that, and it was an exciting game, but Ohio State had nothing to offer. I was very shocked that they could not cut into that lead at any time of the game. And it just seemed like their back was against the wall, even late in the game when they started to make some progress. Miami just put it away. And, just a great matchup there. And Beck played phenomenal.
He really did. And he had to use his legs a lot, and something
and he did it very effectively, Alex. I mean, if you looked at it, every time he ran the ball, it was a great maneuver. And, the passing game over the middle was very accurate. Just those 10, 11-yard strikes when he needed them, then using his legs. And the combination was just too much for State to overcome.
Dwayne, let's go to this game we've got going on right now with Oregon and Texas Tech. What are you guys looking at? Who do you need? And where did you guys end up closing for this one?
Well, we're going to need Texas Tech. We closed the game at 1, but, we started to get a lot of Tech money late, which was a good sign because we were getting plied with Oregon money. But in this current matchup, we will need Texas Tech. We took a lot of late Tech money, but the Oregon money throughout the week, Alex, was just consistent. The parlays, the teasers, the ticket count, slightly in favor of Oregon. Like I said, we were able to get some Texas Tech buyback, but we closed the game at Texas Tech -1. I really liked Oregon in this game. I'll be honest with you. I think they may be the best team that's remaining in the playoffs, and they could win this whole thing, in my opinion. But, we did start to see a little buyback towards kickoff time.
Let's go ahead and move forward to the next game coming up, the Rose Bowl. It's a shame because they got so much rain there, so might change things, but still should be a great game. Indiana and Alabama catching a touchdown here in this one.
Yeah, 7.5 now, Indiana. So, definitely they've proven, but now we see what Ohio State was all about. So you kind of now, you start to second guess. And do you really want to lay over a touchdown to a high quality SEC team like Alabama? That's the question mark. But Indiana has done nothing wrong this season. Ticket count is almost 2-1 in favor of Indiana, which is somewhat shocking. The money also is there. We're going to need Alabama in this game, which is not a bad position. 7.5 at the resort at Summerlin and South Point. And just amazing, amazing action on all these games. And some really good matchups, despite the rain, like you said, in that area, a plethora of rain. So we're going to keep an eye on that. The total is 47.5 as we get closer and closer to game time.
DC, I'll ask about the Sugar Bowl, going Ole Miss and Georgia. Looking at Georgia as a 6.5-point favorite, really hasn't moved much off that 6, and the total going down from 56.5 to 55.5. What are you thinking here?
Yeah, this is a tough matchup, I'll tell you, but I like Georgia, Ryan. I'll be honest with you. 6.5 ticket count is over 2-1 on Georgia. Ole Miss, the coaching situation, all that going on in the locker room, it's definitely going to take its toll. But we're seeing a ton of Georgia money. Ole Miss has played very well, though, this year. So this is another great SEC matchup, 3 versus 6 on the docket. It's going to be interesting to see if we could get some Ole Miss money as we get closer to kickoff, or if this game will get to the key number of 7. Then you start to see massive buyback by the Sharps if you get on that key number. But right now, 6.5 at the Rampart and South Point, and 55.5 is the total. So, we've been getting plied with Georgia money. We'll see if it continues to roll in.
Dwayne, we have up right now a graphic with some of the props that are here at the South Point and at the Rampart. Any props being bet that would surprise people or that surprised you? Any alt point spreads or anything like that?
No, not really anything shocking. You're definitely going to see a lot of the underaction in that Indiana-Alabama game just because of the adverse weather, and we'll see how the slippery conditions affect all the totals and the over-unders on the certain matchups. But nothing that was really that we got plied on, I'll be honest with you. Some people on the alternate spreads laying, a little with Alabama, or taking less with Alabama, but nothing that really stood out, Alex, I'll be honest with you.
All right, let's turn it over to some NFL because we've got some big matchups here in Week 18. 2 games on Saturday. Let's start it off with the first one, 345, 346 rotation number. Tampa Bay, a 3-point favorite, total 43.5. Dwayne, curious your thoughts on this one, where really no team in this division has just run away with it, right? I mean, so now we're down to these 2, but Tampa has to win and needs some help.
Yeah, definitely, and they fell apart late in the season, Alex. So, Baker Mayfield at one time was a MVP candidate, believe it or not, but not anymore. I'll be honest with you. I like the Panthers in this matchup. The Buccaneers had several chances, and they just weren't able to seal the deal. It's amazing that Carolina, is the front runner in this division, and, just an improvement by Bryce that has been, spoken about the whole year. And a lot of people were writing this young kid off, but now he is one of the younger quarterbacks like Caleb Williams that has really come to the forefront as, Jaden Daniels did last year, but he was banged up this whole year. So now Caleb improved, Bryce Young improved. Very interesting to see how next season is going to play out with all these young quarterbacks. You definitely have a young kid up there in Denver. Herbert is still young. A lot of new wave quarterbacks out there, Jackson Dart. It's really fun to see, and it's really good to see that Carolina is in the playoff hunt once again. It makes it a little more exciting when you have these other teams that are involved, as opposed to just having the Chiefs, Eagles, every single year fighting it out. So, it's great to see the young quarterbacks. I like Carolina in this situation, plus the 3.
All right, DC, we'll go to the second game on Saturday, the one for the 1 seed in the NFC and most likely the top wildcard spot in the NFC as well. Seattle and San Francisco. It looked like it opened, Seattle 1, got to a pick, and we're now back to Seattle 1.5. And the total opened 49.5 to 48. What are you thinking here?
Yeah, all of a sudden we got steamed with the Seahawk money when it got bet back down, Ryan. But I like the 49ers in this spot. I'm not sold on Sam Darnold as of yet. It seems that he has problems putting the ball in the end zone against these higher caliber teams. And we're going to see how that plays out, especially in San Francisco. You're getting 1.5 points here. San Francisco, they played very well and flew under the radar until last week. And now we're going to see how that plays out against a really high quality Seattle team. You have to stop Najigba. He's going to be going down the field. Donald definitely wants to put the ball in the end zone prior to the playoffs, to establish their offensive momentum and possible superiority as this gets closer to the playoffs. But I'm not so sure they could do it. We are seeing a lot of money come in on the 49ers, but then we had that buyback on the Seahawks. Ticket count is 2-1 in favor of the 49ers, which signifies a lot of parlays and teasers from the smaller consumers. That's why the ticket count is so high. And the Sharps are taking Seattle. So this is a non-play for me, but I'm not sold on Sam Darnold just yet. I've seen him play some really bad games. There was a game, where they actually kicked 6 field goals a few weeks back. So tough matchup. Great matchup for the division.
Dwayne, it's funny you brought up JSN, and I don't remember a time when Week 18 meant so much for all of these awards coming up, but including this matchup here, both of these coaches are in the conversation to be Coach of the Year. Right now, Shanahan plus 190, so he's definitely, those odds have dropped. Vrabel is the favorite right now. Mike McDonald, though, plus 750. Do you have an opinion here on who you think should be the Coach of the Year?
Not Vrabel, I'll be honest with you. I just don't like Vrabel. I think the talent was there and it was set in place. I think he will be exposed during the playoffs. I mean, everybody thinks this guy's such a great coach, and I watched him destroy Tennessee for years and years. They just declined as he was the head coach. So now, maybe, he's in the right position, I guess, but I'm not sold on him. But I really don't have a standout other than, I think Shanahan definitely is deserving and should be right there. Ben Johnson, I liked him a few weeks back, but, that's a very tough schedule. He really improved that team. We knew how bad Miami and the Jets were going to be, and I definitely thought going into the regular season, the Patriots did actually have a chance to win this division. So that's why I'm not sold on Vrabel, but I'm sure he'll win the award just because of that flashy record and the way Drake May has matured.
All right, we'll get back to the games. We'll go to Sunday Night Football. This one does have playoff implications as it's for the AFC North crown. The Baltimore Ravens on the road in Pittsburgh taking on the Steelers. Looks like the Ravens have moved off the 3, and that was earlier in the week, but now 3.5, and total still at 41. DC, what do you think here?
No, DK is big, I'll be honest with you. And, they had a chance to put the division away, and they could not do that, which was definitely not a good sign. Now with the Ravens giving them another chance, revitalized, they played horrible the whole season. Let's see if Lamar suits up. I'm sure he will. All of a sudden, he'll be rejuvenated and healthy, because the playoffs are on the line. But, I don't really know how much his heart is in the game at this point as well. So I'll take 3.5 at home all day with the Steelers, even though DK is not there, which is a huge asset. They really need him, if they are going to move forward and make the playoffs and march into the playoffs. So we'll see how Tomlin coaches this game, but I think he could definitely outcoach this Harbaugh. Maybe not Jim, but, definitely they have a good chance here with 3.5 at home.
Yeah, and we're used to seeing this game be a tighter one-score game for sure, and something's just off with this Ravens team this year. Last but not least, Dwayne, we want to ask about your team and the Dallas Cowboys going on the road, laying 3.5 against the New York Giants, who are definitely not tanking. They are still playing all their guys. Any thoughts in this one?
They're not tanking, but they can't beat my Cowboys. I'll be honest with you. What is it, like 15 out of 16? This is an improved Giant team. Don't get me wrong, but Dallas, I think they want to keep that momentum of beating the Giants consistently like a drum over the past 5 seasons. So, this is a game that doesn't really mean much. The Giants definitely are not conceding. They have Jackson Dart. They have hopefully Scatterboo and Neighbors who will return. So they have a big 3, a young big 3, and that's why you saw they really didn't tank playing against the Raiders, who definitely need the number 1 pick and definitely need a quarterback out here. So, this is an interesting game. You're still playing in MetLife, which it's going to be very cold. We'll see how the Cowboys are motivated. Definitely, they did not play well down, the end of the season. They had a chance to make the playoffs, and they just did not play at all. So this is a pass for me. If anything, slight favoritism to my Cowboys just because they're beating the Giants consistently over the past 5-6 seasons.
Yeah, DC, it's Cowboys have won 9 straight, 16 of the last 17, and 21
Yeah,
of the
yeah.
last 25. So my guy Daniel Bellinger has yet to beat the Dallas Cowboys. And you mentioned MetLife. That crowd means absolutely nothing. The New York crowd is absolutely terrible. So yeah, I'd be with your Cowboys there. But we do have our viewers always asking, do you have any pony plays for us today?
I didn't check the scratches yet at Oaklawn, but I do have a horse in the 4th race at Oaklawn, number 11, Hoodlum. Ricardo Santana, David Jacobson. Watch for this combination to pop. Hoodlum's dropping down now to his lowest class level in his last, I would say, 15 starts. Claimed him for 16,000, now running for 12.5. Showed some really good races at Hawthorne. Now David Jacobson took over. This is the 4th race that David is going to be putting him on the track. He has to sit a little bit closer. 9-2 on the morning line. Number 11 horse in the 4th race at Oaklawn. Let's get some money to start the new year right, guys.
Yes, sir.
I like it, and I love that number there, number 11 to start off the year. Dwayne, I know you're super busy. Just before we let you go, I got to get one take from you when it comes to hockey because the Eastern Conference is just wild right now. Last time we talked to you, I believe the Canadians were in a wild card, if not chasing one. Now they're right in it for the Atlantic. The Buffalo Sabres have a wild card spot as of now. What's your overall take on this Eastern Conference?
Sabres are playing at an exceptional level, I'll be honest with you. What, 11 in a row, 10 in a row? It's just unbelievable to win that many games at the NHL level. The Canadians are very young. I was hoping that Nick Suzuki didn't make Team Canada because I know he needs the rest. He has a pregnant wife at home. He's the Montreal Canadiens captain, so there is immense pressure. He came through the other night with 2 unbelievable goals. Cole Caulfield, he's been amazing. Demidov, probably the best rookie in the NHL. It was good to see Sam Montembeault finally healthy. And if this guy is healthy, this could definitely add to the Canadians' chances. You don't want to rush Fowler into the position that he was in, but he was playing at a good level as well. You see the graphic right now. The Islanders have been very impressive with all the injuries. They are still able to win hockey games, which is very important. The Devils have been somewhat of the disappointment. They can't score goals. Last night they scored 3 in a minute 35. That was an encouraging sign. You want to see the Hugheses get involved, especially Jack, and put the puck in the net because they're playing not to their roster level and their capabilities, which is very important now to establish yourself before the Olympics, and you could get some momentum, and then after the Olympic break come out firing. It's important for the Devils. The Florida teams look very good and tough at times, especially Tampa Bay. We're going to see Florida improve in the second half of the season. Don't worry about that. But Montreal played very well against both the Florida teams. You saw Coop. He actually said Montreal played better than them despite them winning the game. And then you saw the return in Florida where they just came back on the Panthers, and they match up very well against the Panthers over the last 2 or 3 years, Alex, if you've been watching that. They played very consistent against them. So if Montreal could get in the playoffs, they definitely can make some noise. You see this Metropolitan Division. It's shocking seeing the Islanders and Flyers on top. But I think a lot of teams will jockey for position. Detroit has played fabulous as well in this first half. We're going to see if they could keep that momentum going and sustain.
TC, you're the best. We appreciate you even on such a busy day. I'm sure your shop is as busy as they are here at the South Point, especially with all of the perks, right? Free parking and great deals there at the Rampart. So how has the atmosphere been the last couple days?
Oh, it's been amazing. And just stay out of the rain, stay warm here. Join us. We got great horse racing all day today. Unfortunately, Santa Anita canceled, but we still have Oaklawn Fairgrounds that go into the afternoon. Fabulous college action. We have NHL action, NBA action. There's tons going on, a full slate of college basketball. Join us at the resort at Summerlin. It's just fabulous here. And if you can't, go to the South Point as usual. Chris is doing a fabulous job there, and just proud to be a part of this. And let's keep it going into the Super Bowl and then into the Kentucky Derby. It's just going to be a fabulous 2026, and Happy New Year to all at Sports by the Book and everybody watching.
Thank you so much, Dwayne. We'll see you again next week. Go visit him at the Rampart. Takes great care of everybody, and follow him on X at NYBookieDwayne. All right, we'll take a quick break. When we get back, we're going to dive into the next 2 bowl games and the quarterfinals coming up here and give out our hockey picks for the day. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back on Sports by the Book.
If you're celebrating a special occasion or just love fine dining, you're in the right place. Come experience the crown jewel of South Point restaurants, Michael's Gourmet Room.
Welcome.
With over 600 different types of wines and magnificent dishes prepared tableside, you'll revel in the rich classic Vegas decor and the best black tie service in the world. This intimate gourmet room has earned accolades galore. Come to Michael's Gourmet Room for an unforgettable dining experience. Another famous restaurant is the Silverado Steakhouse, where you'll find the charm and service that discerning patrons require. From top quality steaks and chops to fresh seafood and desserts, you'll love the award-winning wine list and menu at Silverado Steakhouse. Steak lovers have even more options with primarily prime rib. Catering to hearty appetites, the menu features a variety of flavorful prime rib cuts, dry aged to ensure tenderness, and then seasoned and slowly roasted. Although prime rib is our specialty, it's not the only thing on the menu. There's something for everyone.
Heading to Las Vegas to catch the action at Allegiant Stadium? Skip the traffic and the sky-high room rates of the Strip. Book your stay at the South Point Hotel, Casino, and Spa. The South Point is located just 7 miles away from the stadium, and it's a quick trip up the freeway, making it an affordable rideshare or taxi ride. And don't worry about getting here when you land in Vegas. We offer a convenient airport shuttle to get your getaway off to a stress-free start. Shuttles are also available on Raider game days for a small fee. So whether you're rooting for your team or seeing your favorite band in concert at Allegiant Stadium, South Point Hotel, Casino, and Spa is your ticket to all the excitement.
Here we go. Happy New Year again to everybody who is watching. A couple new, well, our regulars, but new in the chat now with JR jumping in there and Dean Hilt. We appreciate all of you. JR's comment kind of made me laugh. He said, hopefully Indiana can put an end to the underdog nonsense. But we know that he is a Buckeyes fan. So, JR, we are very sorry. I'm sure they will be back again next year. But we do have a poll question going, Ryan. What did we come up with? And it kind of had to do with what I asked Dwayne about the prop bets here at the South Point. You can jump in, you get alt lines and alt totals.
Yeah, JR is down in Aruba, so can't be too sorry for him. But yeah, he was saying, come on, pretty mama, to his Buckeyes all last night. But anyway, talking about the alt lines or the poll for today, getting our viewers' thoughts. New year, new lines. Which alternate line would you most want to take? We gave you 2 in the Rose Bowl with the totals, alternate totals, and 2 in the Sugar Bowl, the alternate totals there. So Rose Bowl under 40.5, getting plus $2 here at the South Point. Rose Bowl over 54.5, plus 180. And then the 2 in the Sugar Bowl under 48.5, also plus 180 here at the South Point. And then over 62.5, also plus 180 there. So go ahead and give us your thoughts. I tend to lean to the one getting more, but we want your guys' thoughts there. So yeah.
Very good, Brian. I want to ask you because that first one with that very low total for the Rose Bowl coming up here, and you played football, you watched a ton of football, you've been all around the country, so different weather too. What is your overall thought with all the rain that they did get in Pasadena, and now how you think this game will play out?
Yeah, it does look like it'll be pretty slippery. They did have the tarp on for the majority of the game last night, or majority of the night last night. So really more just getting the ground soaked. So could see a good amount of slipping and sliding, but these universities do have equipment staffs that make sure that these guys have the correct cleats and stuff on. So might not be as bad as it was for me in high school and all that kind of stuff, not having all the different types of equipment. But I do think that Indiana would have the advantage being more used to the elements than Alabama. But again, these two teams are fully capable. And I mean, Alabama shouldn't be in the position, but they are here. So I don't think they can get it done, but the buys have been an issue, as we've seen now 0-5 here and looking like it'll be 0-5.5 in this first half of football in between Oregon and Texas Tech. But yeah, what are your thoughts there in the Rose Bowl?
Very low scoring right now, 6-0 in that Orange Bowl. But I really wanted to get there with Alabama getting points. Kalen DeBoer's been really good in that underdog role. I mean, we saw it in Washington. We've seen it here with Bama. But I can't now with the weather and just how one-dimensional they are. And so that scares me off of it. I wish that I could make a better case for them getting 7.5, but I think that number's kind of telling too, right? 6.5 to 7. Now we're seeing the sharp money come in here on Indiana, who have been very good all year. And I mean, last year they, came up short here in the playoffs, and one of their big issues was not being able to run the ball. And they fixed that this year. So the other thing with the total is I would like an over, because my initial power rating total was higher, but not with the weather, right? And we've seen how many points Indiana can normally put on the board. But so this one, I really have it's a stay off for me as of right now. It might be an in game if Alabama can go down and score early, maybe getting a better number with Indiana. But now that I missed the 6.5, I think this one's a stay away for me. What about you?
Yeah, I don't hate that thought. Being able to play this in game if Alabama goes up early. I don't think that Indiana will be as afraid as Oklahoma was in pushing the ball down the field and allowing being behind to influence how they're going to operate. So I do think Indiana is capable of coming back from behind, but I also don't think that they're going to allow Alabama to get up like that. And really need to play from behind. If anything, it'll stay a close game. And we've kind of seen that with it opening at 7, going to 6.5. Maybe we moved off the key number to Alabama and continued to go down to 6, but we moved back to 7, and we're now over the 7, over the touchdown to 7.5. So the sharp money, trusting what Indiana has been able to do. And again, I've heard all week on social media talking about, like, if you flip the logos and you look at the resumes, Alabama as an undefeated team versus an Indiana 3-loss team, this spread would easily be in double digits, might be close to 2 touchdowns. And then you also made the point of last year, Indiana's team kind of getting boat raced and not being able to control the line of scrimmage as much. There have been players to mention last year they were happy to be in the college football playoff. This year they feel like they belong in the college football playoff and it's theirs to lose. So they're going to be fired up. Kirk Cignetti is one of the top coaches in college football, and being able to get his guys fired up and finding that bulletin board material and having their guys prepped. So, I would be much more confident in laying it with the Hoosiers.
Excellent points. And we did bring up yesterday kind of that worry with Julian Sain and him being so young. Well, Fernando Mendoza isn't just a freshman, right? And we've seen him go through a lot of different obstacles this year. So I don't think he will be intimidated in this one, and they could come back if needed. All right, let's go to the last one here with the Sugar Bowl. I'm definitely looking forward to this one. Georgia's 6.5, total 55.5 against Ole Miss, a rematch we've already seen. And it's funny because Dwayne said he liked Georgia in this spot, and then he said the ticket count and all of that. But Ryan, why have we not moved off of this 6.5 when I have heard nobody say they are taking the 6.5 with Ole Miss?
Yeah, I couldn't tell you. I obviously I guess I will make up a reason for the key number being there at the 7 and not making it more than a touchdown, thinking this game will stay within a 1-score game as we get to the end of it. But everybody's talking about the coaching drama and Kirby Smart being able to make adjustments and winning the game earlier this year. Ole Miss's guys know that they had that game at hand. They couldn't make stops on defense. Georgia scored on every single possession in that game in Athens. You move the drama completely out of the building with Lane Kiffin. You have a coach in Pete Golding that is having the guys believe that it is just about them. Get the job done as yourself. Remember what they did to you. Remember how they embarrassed you in the fourth quarter in Athens. So it's just the guys believing in the guys, and that's what it takes to win a football game. 11 versus 11, the guys on the field, the coaches are going to be able to scheme stuff, but they can't make the plays for you. So that's why I yes, I know I pointed out my brother goes to Ole Miss. It is a homer pick, but I do think that this game is going to be tight. It is worth it to take the 6.5. Granted, Georgia might shut me up because they are a Kirby Smart-led team, but you still need to make the plays. And Ole Miss's guys know that. They're going to be hungry. There have been plenty to say that they're going to stay committed, be a rebel. And I don't think there's too much being pointed out about the coach leaving and not having the consistency. They got their coordinators back. The coaches aren't making it about them. It's about the guys on the field. So I know DC said he likes it with the dogs. What do you like, Alex?
I definitely like the points. I took the 3.5 first half. I am tempted to take a shot there now with Ole Miss either a little on the money line for full game or taking that 6.5 full game. But I've been making the case for 10 days now that, Kirby Smart's one of the best halftime adjustment coaches. And that while that is true, and everybody's talking about Georgia getting better since that first matchup against those two, well, that kind of plays into this whole bye week hurting all of these teams, right? Georgia's probably the last team that needed this much time off when they were finally clicking and playing some of their best football. Ole Miss got a warm-up game against Tulane where that score was almost identical the first time they played with Lane being there. So, yeah, I don't know. I think there's a reason that they have not given us a 7 here with Mississippi. So
absolutely, and I know I pointed out when we talked about Miami moving on, and I really think that Miami will defeat whichever team advances in this game. And JR kind of combated that and said Georgia will get it done. The only reason why I would agree to that Georgia would be the team to be able to get it done against Miami is that when we saw Ohio State have to pick up the tempo to try and score before half and do little things, Miami's guys got tired, and they're not going to be able to keep up with Zachariah Branch. No one in the country can keep up with Zachariah Branch. So if Georgia is able to win this game and keep the tempo going against Miami, that's Miami's vulnerability, is getting gassed and not being able to keep up with the tempo of an offense. So I know I'm talking a future matchup, but I do think Ole Miss will be able to contain enough here.
Last but not least, with this total here at 55.5, I do lean to an under, even though you brought up how both of them couldn't stop the other, and that first game was very high scoring. What do you think? You think it kind of flip-flops and we get the best effort? I mean, the defense knows the adjustments, right? They're watching that film. They know what they have to do. I feel like it usually kind of sways and goes the other way.
I think the only thing, or my way to maybe spook you off of that, and maybe we get the second half adjustments to shut it down and not get scoring. But if you're thinking playing Ole Miss in the first half, they're going to have to get up early, and that offense is going to have to play fearless and put up as many points as they can in the first half. And then Georgia's going to have to answer in the second half and keep Ole Miss down. And if they allow Ole Miss to score, then we're going to see the total get 250. So I think we might have a little bit of two-way action. And I don't think I'm going to play the 62.5, but if I'm not playing the under 40.5, I think I'd be looking at the Sugar Bowl going way over.
I think you're right, though. I am going to stay away. I have not made that bet yet and don't think I need to add it into the portfolio. But you make a great point, too, because Ole Miss does like to play at a faster tempo offensively. So we might see that early on. And with the end game, maybe if they do both go down and score pretty. Okay, that's it for our bowl games coming up. Just to remind everybody, we will have our football frenzy tomorrow at noon. Myself, Ryan, Vinny, and Chris Andrews. We've got some bowl games to go through tomorrow. We'll kind of get their thoughts on the quarterfinals, the early numbers that we will have for the next round, the lines and totals for that. And then, of course, week 18 gets very interesting for the NFL. We appreciate Dwayne Colucci again going through some of those games with us, what he's seen, what he likes, and where the action has been. But let's go ahead and switch it over to a little hockey talk. I know everybody's pretty focused. This is a dedicated day to football, I would say, but a couple games did jump out to me. Ryan, what about you?
Yeah, we already had one puck drop early this morning in Washington, so I guess in Ottawa, Capitals and Senators there. So we'll go to the second one between the Utah Mammoth and the New York Islanders. in UBS Arena. We have a road favorite here. It looks like
On a back-to-back. Neither of these two played yesterday. Islanders, this is their 4th game in 6 nights, but so it's a lean to the Islanders. I did not jump on that one, though. Did you like anything in that matchup?
I did, and I leaned to the under, and then I realized that it would be a backup goalie matchup, so I won't be taking the under 6. I don't want to lay the juice there, knowing that these offenses are pretty capable, but this is a start of a full week at home for the Islanders before they go on a 7-game road trip, spending almost 2 weeks on the road. The Islanders are also 7-0-1 to the under in their last 8, which is another reason I lean to the under there. But Utah on the road for the next week before being at home for 2 straight weeks. So kind of a flip in schedules for these opponents. But Utah is 9-12-1 on the road so far this season. And the Islanders are 12-7-2. So 12-9 at home on the money line. So I will be going with the Islanders here. You said your price was minus 135. We're getting even money in some spots in town. So I'll be taking the even money there.
Ironically, Ryan, I originally had circled that one too, under 6, and then kind of backed off of it. But, I mean, we do talk about a lot that it's not just the goalie, right? It is the defenseman too. And Islanders tied for 5th in goals allowed. And Utah, I mean, they're out of the top 10, but they are tied for 12th, just 2.9. So it is a lean that way as well. So I guess we're both kind of reading that one the same.
All right, we'll go to Pittsburgh. The second of a back-to-back for the Red Wings, the first of a home-and-home between these two teams. They'll play in Detroit on Saturday, but here in Pittsburgh, we've got the Penguins as a home favorite of minus 125 here at the South Point, plus 105 on the buyback. Total is 6.5 with 115 to the under.
I might be late to the party. You had the Red Wings yesterday, but I do like them here in this spot. I know Pittsburgh's been playing a little better. They've won 2 in a row, but I still think this number is just a little tempting, getting a plus price with the Red Wings against the Penguins here. And it will be Cam Talbot going for the Red Wings. His numbers are decent, 11-6-2 on the year and 2.94 goals against. So that's a lean right now. Has not made it into the account just yet.
I don't hate it, and I do lean the same way of the Red Wings being able to get it done. Just the fact that it is the first of a home, and they're in the road building here kind of scares me off a little bit. I will more than likely play it. Whichever side wins tonight, I will play the loser on tomorrow night. But yeah, you mentioned Detroit's playing really well. They've won 11 of their last 15, but 8 of those wins were 1-goal wins, and they also have a shootout loss. So 9 1-goal games in their last 15. And I had mentioned a couple weeks ago that Cam Talbot, the projected starting goalie here for the Red Wings, had lost 6 straight starts. And since then, he's won back-to-back. Both of those have gone to overtime and have been 3-2 wins. And then if you go to before the losing streak, that was also an overtime win. So could be looking at a plus price if you like the Red Wings of getting it to overtime.
Yeah.
Also with the fact that, yeah, you mentioned the Penguins have won 2 straight. They've won 3 of their last 4. Prior to that, though, they lost 8 straight games. They got shut out in the final 2 of that 8-game losing streak, 4-0 and 4-0. But in their last 4 against the Canadiens, who we respect, the Maple Leafs, who are trying to earn our respect back, the Blackhawks, who don't have the respect of the league but are a very feisty team, and then the Carolina Hurricanes, who have the respect in the NHL. They've scored 19 goals in those 4 games, so almost averaging 5 goals a game in their last 4.
Wow.
And going against a backup in Cam Talbot, I do think goals will be able to be scored in this game, so that cautioned me off the under. So if we see a kind of a shootout full game, I would tend to trust the Red Wings offense a little more, and that's why I'm kind of thinking it might go to overtime. But I also wouldn't be surprised with the Penguins playing well in their last 4, maybe being able to get it done there as well. So it'll be a stay away, but yeah, do lean to the Red Wings there.
Great points. And I do lean to the over, my numbers. So interesting if we can get 3-3 overtime, which yesterday I kind of thought we had a shot there with the one I was trying to get with overtime with Jersey tying it up in the 3rd, but then they put a 3rd one in as well. But yes, we can keep it moving here.
All right, we'll go to Carolina, to Raleigh. The Hurricanes hosting the Canadians. Hurricanes are a minus 170 home favorite, plus 150 on the Canadians. Total is 6 flat.
I think those numbers are right. That's what I have right here, minus 170. So as much as I'd want to jump in and take that plus 150 with the Canadians, I don't think there's a lot of value there compared to my numbers. 6. I got a 6.5 in this one too, but both of them median numbers definitely match that, going over 6. Canadians 4 goals for on the road and 3 goals against, and Carolina 3.5 at home goals for and 3 goals against. So lean there to the over, which I missed that earlier.
I might have to work up the confidence and be able to play the Habs here on the road. They're on the back half of a 7-game road trip. They have 2 more after this. It is a back-to-back this weekend in St. Louis and in Dallas. So yeah, they've played 3 of the 4 so far on the road trip, have gone to overtime. 2 of those were a shootout loss. So played a little bit of extra hockey the last week really. And Carolina has the Avalanche on deck on Saturday. So I know you can't really look ahead. You got to go game by game, but having to go against the Avalanche, you might be looking ahead a little bit. So getting plus 150 here at the South Point. Looks like there are 155s available over at Superbook, but I might have to work up the confidence to play the 150 there.
Could not blame you.
All right, we'll go to a battle of 2 other Canadian teams. The Winnipeg Jets on the road in Toronto, taking on the Maple Leafs. The Jets have lost 7 straight, and they're only getting 115 here in Toronto. The Maple Leafs plus 135 here as the favorite at home. Total is 6 with minus 120 to the over.
Jets have lost 7, and Toronto has won 4 in a row at home, so it would only be the favorite in this one. But as we always say, not to lay points with a bad team. Don't really want to lay a price here with a not so great team, so it's a pass for me.
I will be making a play in this one. I really just fading the Jets. Losers of 7 straight, losers of 10 of the last 11, losers of 12 of the last 14, 16 of the last 19, and 20 of the last 26. So really for the last 2 months, the Jets have not been playing good hockey at all. And yeah, Toronto is coming off of a 4-0 shutout win against the Devils. It's their 2nd shutout of the year. The only other prior shutout, they shut out the Devils. I think they shut out the Stars. And then they lost the game following in overtime to the Sharks, another team that really struggling, not really respected in the NHL. So we've seen the Maple Leafs this year get maybe a little bit their heads inflated and not being able to play good once they do play good finally. So I was thinking puck line, but just going to go money line here. Again, fading the Jets here, going with the Maple Leafs. So
I can't not believe that this terrible run that Winnipeg has been on.
Yeah. All right, we'll come back across the country, going to Tampa Bay Lightning on the road in Los Angeles, taking on the Kings. The Kings are a minus 120 favorite here at home, even money with the Lightning. Total is 5.5 with a 120 to the over.
I'm going to lay that minus 120. I'm going to go over 5.5 here between these two. And I know the Kings are a great under team, but I mean, the Lightning do have a backup goalie in Johansson going. No Vasilevsky in this one. So Lightning have been really good. I mean, their media numbers are 4 goals for on the road, 3 goals against. I think they're going to put up some goals here. And I think the Kings have it in them to put a couple in as well. Tampa Bay, 5-game winning streak coming into this one. So they're going to want to keep that rolling.
Yep. And it's their third at least 5-game win streak of the season. Wow. Looking to keep it going. Their longest win streak of the season so far is 7. So looking to beat that. But they have played back-to-back overtime games. So I was maybe thinking about the puck line, but don't want to do it against the defensive team like the Kings, especially on the road in the road trip that the Lightning are on. So it'll be a money line play here with the Lightning.
Wow, we're getting even money there.
Mm-hmm. That's exactly why. All right, we'll go up to Chicago. The Dallas Stars are a minus 175 favorite on the road, plus 155 on the Blackhawks at home. Total is 6 with 120 to the under.
Dallas Stars don't get it done yesterday. Home to away for them. Will be Jake Ottinger going, though. I don't know where he's been or when his last game has been. It's been a little bit, though. But I'm really leaning towards Chicago here, getting plus 155. I wish it was a little bit more, but I think they could keep it close. They have lost 4 straight home games, so maybe that gives them even a little bit more. But the fact that Dallas is playing on back-to-back, fell short yesterday, I mean, they could be highly motivated too. So it's a lean to your Blackhawks here with Spencer Knight and how well he's been playing.
I mean, I'll take it. I like you being confident here with the Blackhawks. Just my only pause is that they did face each other just 5 days ago, December 27th in Dallas, and the Blackhawks got it done in the shootout 4-3, and that was against Jake Ottinger. So the Stars should remember that, should remember the hard-fought game. And
Thank you. You know how I am with home revenge.
Doing that, the Blackhawks doing that without Connor Bedard on the road, still without Connor Bedard. Actually, he might be coming back tonight.
It's got to be soon.
I think I have to look at that. Yeah, he was slated to come back right after the New Year. So, yeah, doesn't look like he has an injury designation. We might be getting Connor Bedard back tonight. I might be following you on that 155.
I hate that revenge spot because you're right. The Stars will remember that. And now they have a chance to go to Chicago and take one back. But with him coming back too, could be a very fired up team.
Let's see.
So it's a lean right now, but
I'm going to have to look up if he's coming back. Activated off IR.
The last game is my best bet, is my favorite here, going against Nashville, playing on a back-to-back. Away from Vegas to Seattle. Their third game in 4 nights, their fourth game in 6 nights. They've been playing really well, but I think they got to be a tired team. They've won 7 of their last 10. Seattle on the other side, 5-4-1. Minus 110, I think that's too cheap for them at home here. So I'm going with the Kraken. At home, I think these teams are very evenly matched. I think you'll get a great effort here with them. And I think they should be closer to $1.30. So nice 20-cent difference there for me. So Seattle will be on the board and in the account. Ryan, anything for that one or any final notes for any of these games?
I with the Nashville and Seattle, it is second of the back-to-back for the Preds, but it was the early game or the second of the early games yesterday, so they were able to travel and have a good night in Seattle last night. So not really a tough travel spot and having to get it done on a back-to-back there in Seattle, but no real play for me there. Just going back to the Blackhawks, Connor Bedard has not been activated off of IR. He did practice on Monday or was skating on Monday, did not take any shots. So it does seem like they are still slow working him back. So I'm thinking he doesn't play tonight. So we'll not be playing that 155.
Okay, we'll wait. We'll wait for another opportunity to get a good plus price there when he is back. All right, let's jump to trivia. And then we'll get our poll results, and then we'll get our best bets out there.
Yeah, so Ticker Trivia, presented by City Light Shine, available at Lee's Discount Liquor, Total Wine, and here at the South Point Hotel and Casino in Las Vegas. It was a football question for you. It was a Rose Bowl question for you. First Rose Bowl took place January 1st, 1902, 124 years ago, featuring a 49-0 win for which Michigan dominated Stanford. What was the original name of that Rose Bowl game, and which year did it become the annual tradition of the Rose Bowl? Originally called the Tournament East-West Football Game back in 1902, became an annual tradition in 1916 onward, and did not establish the Rose Bowl name until Rose Bowl Stadium was built in 1923. The USC Trojans have the most appearances in said Rose Bowl, 34 of them, and 25 wins to play in that bowl game. So, did not have any correct guesses or answers, but that was today's Ticker Trivia, presented by City Light Shine, getting the new year started off with a Rose Bowl question there. So we did have the poll for you guys today. New year, new lines. Which alternate line would you most want to take? Starting with 2 alternate lines in that Rose Bowl. Under 40.5 plus $2. Over 54.5 plus 180. Both prices available here at the South Point. And then 2 alternate totals in the Sugar Bowl. Under 48.5 getting plus 180, or over 62.5 also getting plus 180. All available here at the South Point Hotel and Casino in Las Vegas. And our chat, 36% of them going with the over in the Rose Bowl. Over 54.5 getting plus 180. High scoring game between Alabama and Indiana there.
I am shocked by that, but I absolutely love that Vince did the alternate totals for us with those 2 games. Ryan, we were 2 of the few to have the Sugar Bowl alternate total over that high number. But looking forward to both of those 2 games coming up here. There's still time if you want to stop in at the South Point or the Rampart. We have parlay cards at both spots. A ton of games still on these cards. A few more bowl games coming up, a few tomorrow, and then, of course, all of Week 18 in the NFL. There are some totals on here, too. If you like to play totals, you can throw them on these parlay cards here at the South Point. Okay, it is time for our best bets on this January 1st, 2026. Let's try and start off the year hot. I do have a Texas Tech plus 2.5. It looks like we just are underway here with the second half of this game between Oregon and the Red Raiders. I've got a Texas Tech plus 2.5. I'm going Ole Miss plus 3.5 first half. Maybe a little bit on that money line. I'll probably go money line first half. Just keep it right there. I'm going with 2 hockey here. Tampa Bay and the Kings. I'm going over that 5.5. And then the Seattle Kraken. Minus 105 was the best number I saw. At home, I do think that they can get it done against Nashville, playing on back-to-back nights. Also kind of lean to the under in that matchup. I think it's a little correlated there. All right, to Ryan for his best bets to start off the year.
All right, nothing in the Rose Bowl for me. Again, I do have Mississippi beating Georgia in the Sugar Bowl. Yeah, I do think they'll be able to get done. But 4 hockey plays, 3 plus prices, 1 laying the vig with the Maple Leafs, but Islanders getting done. It is minus 105 here at the South Point, so it is a shop around price of even money with the Islanders getting it done against the Mammoth. The Tampa Bay Lightning getting even money here at the South Point on the road against the Kings. The Toronto Maple Leafs minus 135 against the Winnipeg Jets. And then I did add the Canadians getting it done in Carolina, getting plus 150 here at the South Point. That one also does have a shop around available, getting plus 155 if you want the extra 5 cents. But yeah, 4 hockey plays and the final bowl game of the night.
Keep it going, Ryan. You've been hot all week, so hopefully you can cash all of those. Somebody did agree with me. Kraken, get it done. Attila asked if Vegas can get back on track. I say absolutely. Here shortly, I have to imagine. Eichel has been skating too, so no, Eichel came back, right?
Sorry, I got distracted by what just happened in the Oregon game.
Eichel already came back.
I believe so.
Yeah. No. Anyways, okay, thank you all for joining us. Thank you for helping us hit our goal. That doesn't mean that we are done there. That means we have the next goal to hit now in 2026. So we appreciate all of you. We'll see you back here. Please jump in live with us for our Football Frenzy Sports by the Book Friday edition. That is at 12 p.m. Pacific time. So go ahead and bookmark that. We will be here, myself and Ryan McCormick. Thank you to the crew. They'll be back again tomorrow as well. And Jerry, Sean, Vince, and Drew Dog. And then Chris Andrews and Vinny join us. So you want to be here for week 18 and all of that great stuff. We'll also talk about a couple games remaining: Navy and Cincinnati, Wake Forest, Mississippi State, and Arizona and SMU tomorrow. So we'll see you guys in 25 hours. Thank you for watching. Please hit that like button. We'll be back. For Ryan McCormick, I'm Alex White. This has been Sports by the Book, and a very happy new year, everyone.